Here's Sorrell's got the suited connector. We saw him fold the queen 10 of diamonds a minute ago. He's tired of it. He's going to look at the flop here.
Yeah, definitely do not fold the good suited connectors from the blinds. They flop well enough. They're usually going to give you a middle pair, though, like this. And let's see if Emma decides to blast him out of his seat again.
Well, she's definitely going to bet. Got the key card, the ace of spade.
This is one of these examples I was talking about just a second ago where you make a pair and you're check calling down. It's unfortunate, but unless the board runs out really nasty, this is one of the better hands Sorrell can have, and he is against someone who should have a wide range. I'm thinking a lot.
Not even a quarter pot from Emma. We're seeing a lot of this in the updates as well. She really likes to create a lot of room for her on future streets to keep barreling.
All of a sudden, Sorrell's hoping she's got a king now.
Now we can withstand all of it.
Yeah.
For fun, I guess we're rooting for a 10 of spades. And this is an example of a spot where maybe you should just be giving up if you think your opponents are going to be defending properly. But at a final table, people do play a little bit cautious.
Especially against a player like Sorrell.
The thing is also with this particular texture is that by betting so small, she's going to keep in all of his queen jack, queen 10, and jack 10s, which will fold to pretty big bets on the turn. Because again, you know, sometimes maybe if she'd bet bigger that he would fold just a gut shot, but you know, less than a quarter pot. So because he has all those weaker hands in his range, that's why she decides to keep applying pressure. But wanted to see if she could take.
Jonathan, do you walk the dog here and just call, or do you raise?
I typically walk the dog if the dog likes to be walked. If your opponent is aggressive, they are capable of bluffing the river. We've seen Emma bluff the river. She tried to bluff me and Patrick yesterday on the river.
And
you want to give that player all the rope you can.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. You're just going to let her try to bluff her money off here.
And notice here that it's tough for Emma to know if Sorrell has a king or 9 or, you know, a random junky 1 pair. By that time, he was prepared.
She shut it down.
So Sorrell, obviously a huge threat. You know, many titles to his name, huge scores. At one point or another, you know, a regular of the high roller circuit. So definitely the most prolific player here on the final table.
He actually had kings lose to aces when we were down to some small number of players as well for a lot of chips.
Wow.
And he still had lots of chips left over. That really does show you that, you know, if you just play well, get a big stack, you can get coolered and still have a nice chip stack and give yourself a chance to make a deep run.
You know, similar to the queen 10 suited that Emma had, we have king queen off here for Pesh.
Big cards, right?
Yeah, you know, in these particular seats when it's Serta raising under the gun and they're so deep, you know, Pesh could actually be a bit wider, like in like a different kind of strength. Like he can have a lot of pocket pairs as well. You know, even as strong as, you know, ace jack suited, ace queen and stuff like that. So interesting, we see a float here without the club.
But he has those 2 overcards.
Yeah.
Overcards are nice, and they could just be the best hand sometimes.
Yeah, and they
as
are
they
here.
happen to be.
Yeah. And then also might barrel cards like queens and kings, which are actually making his hand. So I really like this float from Pesh, and he does get the check.
What you mean by that is, say the turn is a king, that's going to look like a scary card, typically. Therefore, Patrick's going to keep bluffing, and clearly Pesh will be able to easily call down with a
especially because it's given Serta more equity with the queen 9, you know.
Right. Or
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And he's betting here to try to get Patrick to fold ace high, specifically, right? That's a lot of what Patrick should have to bet the flop and then check the turn.
Yeah, and I think that there are some, you know, some pocket pairs too. Like, I mean, 8s, 9s, 10s, shrink up a little bit. I mean, we have the 3 clubs, we have the jack on board. So, you know, Patrick's not going to be super happy about having to call with a hand like pocket 8s, for instance, when he gets that float on the flop. It's not like Pesh is always going to have the king queen. He has some ace jacks, and then of course some clubs.
Exactly this to me yesterday, where I raised with 8-7 of clubs off of a 20-something big blind
and
stack.
he shoves it in with the
and get snap
real
called.
Equity. Sorrell not loving that, but
great flop for the queen 10.
Needs a 6. The final table.
There we go. Nice double up there.
Here you want action so bad. You want somebody to 3-bet you, but
unfortunately for him, Jack's just like, guys, come on. Guys, Emma.
I imagine Emma will probably defend this. She seemed quite sticky in the big blind when I played with her the other day.
She's a defender.
Yeah,
a lot of them.
I feel like it's going to be the bottom of her defend range, but I see you're calling probably, yeah.
She's a defender for sure.
But
now she's flopped the gut shot straight draw.
Oh boy, buckle up. It's funny how often you make a gut shot. Or if you bet's tiny, like he does here, 125, she could even just call, right? She's putting in 125 to win a million.
And that's why we see these, really small flop bets from great players, because they, want to keep the continue range of the opponent out of position really wide, like a hand like 8-6 here, where, maybe we can make some more money.
Every once in a while, though, that 5 comes off.
Yeah, but...
But sometimes it comes an 8 instead, and then you just win more money.
Well, with 1.7 million left there, he's probably going to want to set up a sort of a, obviously a shove on the river. Maybe something in the 450 range.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. 600,000 mark. And a check.
That's an interesting check. Given there is no obviously tiny stack at the final table, I don't think you have to be so worried about going broke here.
I don't think he's worried about going broke. I think it more has to do with, expecting her to fold 7s on the river, on the turn, pardon me, and maybe just trying to get some more money.
So this is a pretty rough river because Emma could conceivably have some ace highs that just float the flop for that tiny bet.
He's going to check it down, I think.
Well, looks like he's going to go for the tiny bet. If you are going to bet, you probably want to bet small on this river. Whenever you're betting a marginal made hand on the river, it's usually right to go small, unless your opponent's an extreme calling station. If you're going to have some bluffs, this is a reasonable bluff. Lets it go. It's always nice whenever you're playing at a final table, you just get kings and jacks and 10s, and you just get good cards. Very often at a final table, someone does just get better cards than the other people, and very often they end up making a deep run unless something goes horrifically bad.
Emma pretty comfortably defending the Jack-9 here against Jack's 35 big blind effective stack.
Ooh, it could go horribly right or wrong right here.
Boy, top set against open-end straight draw.
So.
Wow, he checked top set with the possible straight and flush draw out there. Pretty surprising.
That is surprising, given there are so many random gut shot straight draws and just pairs.
Unless she has an 8, it's going to be hard for her to call down, so may as well just check back, try to get her to start bluffing.
Emma could conceivably bet turn and then bet really big on the river here. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to check behind on the flop with a marginal made hand and then raise the turn, so I'm expecting him to call.
Yeah, I would agree.
Remember, everyone knows Emma likes to bluff,
Which
or
is
at least
what he did do.
She is very capable of bluffing. So you want to keep her in.
Check a bet.
But we'll see. Looks like Emma's just going to
475,000.
value bet herself. No raise, just call.
And, the reason that we see a snap call there from Jack, obviously, he has 3 of a kind 10s. You should expect him to raise, but he's going to know that, she does have the Jack 7s and the Queen Jacks and the 6 7s, and she's not going to be calling a raise.
Correct.
So, obviously it seems on the tighter side, but, I think it makes sense.
These two are going to be all in very shortly.
And very big trouble with the hands we saw just folded. Ace-7, Ace-6, even Jack-10 with a diamond.
Oh, my gosh.
So
Ace-King's going to have 0% equity.
And a Jack of diamonds here for Peshka. So, I don't know if the calculator calculates folded cards, but his odds here are going to
he has one
not
out.
be very good.
Literal one out. Yeah, Sorrell's out. Good game, Sorrell.
It's going to be all in and called here.
Player calls?
That's right. I would love to hear everybody's folded aces, but two aces folded.
All right, finally double up for Sorrell. Good discipline. Good job hanging around.
Sorrell with the ace-8 of clubs at the cutoff here. Just playing around 26 big blinds now that the blinds are up, and Emma getting a good flop in defense.
Player check.
Besides winning that ace-king, or the kings versus ace-king hand, everything has gone wrong for Sorrell today. And he's played a lot of hands. I think it's important for people to look at this and realize that good things, or maybe bad things, will happen to where you get a good hand, you're able to get it in, and you'll be a decent favorite. You have the gut shot, and you have the overcard.
Player calls?
Feels so dirty sticking around, but I think you probably should, like Sorrell does. You could have the best hand. If you get the 9, you're happy enough.
Shake a bet. Player checks.
This is an interesting one because you do beat hands like 6-5, but you don't beat a whole lot else.
A lot of diamond combos can maybe be giving up.
That's true.